Hello, welcome to the Black Salt Mirror. I have a channeled message for you today. We'll be using some tarot and oracle cards. I also have a candle message. I started burning this one. It's been burning very quickly, but when I started to get ready, and I've had these wax candles, they're beeswax, for a long time, and I burn them frequently. I've only got a few left. And I never used to create things like this. This is a completely freestanding, you can see, little person that jumped off of the wax in the candle. And it must have happened a few times because I don't think that much wax can fall off in one go. But it's created a whole separately standing, it looks like a little person, separate from the main burning candle. And I'm thinking of it as a totem, a little doll that represents something. Although on the camera it looks kind of phallic. You can see the side view, it looks like a little person. So there's something that's come up. They're saying side quest, which is not a person. We can ask about it though. Okay. I'm also feeling a lot of the heat of this particular candle, and normally I don't notice the heat of the candles. So it reminds me of the tower, the card, or the tower is hit by lightning and the people have jumped out, and the candle would be the tower. In this case, the catastrophe is the fire, since the tower is a Mars sign and Mars is fire. And then that would be the person. Now, whether or not that person caused it or came from the tower, or maybe was even coming to visit the tower and was lucky enough to see what happened but not have gone in and been part of the catastrophe. There's already a card that wants to come out. Number 1, the Magician. Or maybe this is the Ace of Cups. Hang on. Let me see. Yes, it is the Ace of Cups. That makes more sense with the dove and the wafer and the cup. The majors are in Roman numerals in this deck, which is what I had suspected. They frequently are. So it's a new thing that's good. A new joy, a new happiness, something, peace, the dove is saying. It's peace, and I believe that hand symbol is demonstrative of some kind of peace. I'm also drawn to this particular swirl here on her robe. It's a spiral that goes outwards, which has a particular symbolism to me, but since I'm your channel, it's a very good omen that something is going your way, literally with the spiral. A lot of people like to do inward spirals, and a lot of art and jewelry have what I consider to be the wrong direction of spiral because of my personal affiliations with it. But this is the appropriate one. This is the outwards, because that's what you are, is you're an outwards creator in this incarnation. The Hanged Man, another interesting spiral type thing on his shirt here. It's got white and red and black. I like how it's framed by the tree here. In commune with nature, that's what I'm getting. The Hanged Man is about looking at things from another perspective. And you'll notice they've represented the body language appropriately. It's not to be hanged in a negative way against your will. The Hanged Man puts himself there serenely to gain perspective. It's something that he does himself. And you can see it looks like he tied himself by that one leg in this place that he's specifically chosen. They are the Roman numerals, number 12. And this almost looks like a woman to me. We get a lot of feminine energy on this channel. It's very possible that most of you have feminine energy. to look from another perspective now that you are healed and grown and in this new phase. You can see the things that were hidden to you before because your mind was not calm enough to get the appropriate perspective. This is the Lovers. They're wrestling, interestingly. She's kind of got her arms around him. It kind of looks like she wants to cuddle and he doesn't. But she's not facing him either. It's got the typical, the apple tree is here with her and you can see the snake here. And then the burning tree is on his side. And the snake is looking up at her. Right there, whispering behind her. There's a reluctance of your masculine side because it sees catastrophe. I'm getting with this burning bush, like there's a part of you that's very rational, possibly a Capricorn placement. That's like, we have to do this the right way. If we get all like heart feelings with it and just take gambles and make wild decisions that aren't well thought out and planned ahead, it's gonna go terribly, catastrophically wrong. And then your gentler feminine self is saying, we have to shed the skin. That's what the snake represents, is the shedding of old lives, is the shedding of old beliefs and paradigms. And historically in the Bible, it's the shedding of the place that they are, the belief of this paradise that things don't exist outside of, that they leave because they wanted to know, well, the feminine side always wants to know the greater knowledge, wants to receive because the feminine is a vessel, wants to know the underworld. That's what the apples represent. And that's why the snake is the Ouroboros. It's about the cycles. And the part of you that wants to do things the right way, the prescribed way, the way that's recommended, is fighting the part of you that wants to surrender and wants to go through the process again, the death and rebirth of the new knowledge and the old paradigm shedding and coming into your new self with your new healed version of you and letting all of the old things that didn't serve you fall away, which is not, the candle's gone out now, the prescribed way of doing things. Now this little figure looks like a woman holding a basket with a shawl over her head. And there's the Tower. The Three of Wands. There's the Tower with the people jumping out. There are two of them. And these flames look like bushes to me, like branches, like the wands in this deck. And there's your feminine side looking out. There's a ship sinking here that she's watching on these very tumultuous waters, and she's holding on to that wand so she doesn't get blown away. And there's the Tower sinking in the ship. And there's the Five of Wands as the masculine energies. They're all men, they're all dressed the same. They're trying to stay upright. And they're not doing well because they're in each other's way. This is a very clear message. These plumes here even look like a tree to me. The lightning is a symbol of as above, so below. Your feminine energy understands the receptivity that you need to move into, that you need to trust and you need to take guidance. And a lot of times the things that spirit wants you to do, or that your intuition from your higher self tells you are best for you, they're not the most logical things. And sometimes they feel very much like making ill-advised decisions, like uprooting yourself from a job or a residence and going somewhere else where you don't have a regular paycheck, or where you don't know people, or there are going to be a lot of struggles. And sometimes it's living a new lifestyle, living a new way, cutting people off. Anything that will diverge from what's been normal and comfortable to you up until this point, and what you've been told you should take time for, hang on to, not give up. I had gotten another message earlier today when I was out walking my dog, and it's been coming up a lot, and particularly in my readings, about not needing a good excuse to do what your heart's calling you to do. And it came up again in terms of relationships, where you could be with someone who's a really good person, who you get along with really well, who you really like, and they're part of your community and your family, and everyone else likes them, but you want to leave because there's a part of you that isn't in it anymore. And there's nothing that they've done wrong. There's nothing that you don't like about them. It's just not where your soul is calling you to anymore. Your soul is calling you away. Your calling is somewhere else. And this person isn't part of that. And you need your freedom. And to fly, to spread your wings and fly. I'm seeing this dove now from the first card, flying away. And they said, be gentle with the doves. I've come across a lot of things lately about people releasing doves for weddings and stuff, and how it's very traumatic for them, and it can injure them or leave them lost and disoriented. And they said, be kind to the peace givers and the little ones, because you are their steward. Be careful of any kind of ceremonies or customs that are bad for animals coming up. And this will be relevant. You'll know what I'm talking about. And it could even be the 4th of July if you're in the States. There's a lot of information about how traumatic that is for local wildlife. My dog has a horrible 3 days and gets sick usually from the noise. The bottom of the deck is the 7 of Wands. She looks like she's leaving a wedding, but she's taken the swords with her. She's like, this one's coming with me. And the flowers too. You gotta have the pretty things. You're leaving. Even though people thought you were gonna stay, even though in this scenario, she looks like the bride, it would be you, that you're the bride. And you see that on the sword base here is the butterfly. You've changed now. It's not that there was anything wrong with who you were with, or who you were, or the community that you're part of, or any of the other people involved. You've changed. And that's okay. You were meant to. And your struggle is the 3D. You know in your mind, spiritually, that you've changed and you need to move on. However, you don't have a good reason. And that's always been a struggle, is the idea that someone who everyone else thought was happy and content, and you were, until you changed. And now you have to leave, and you don't have a good excuse for them. And then people will ask you, what happened? What did they do wrong? Why are you leaving? It can't just be like you woke up one day. And there will be people who will always think that about you, that you woke up one day and chose violence. But you didn't. You woke up one day and you chose yourself. And you took your swords with you, which are your words and your thoughts and the weapons that you wield, the things that you need to carry with you. Flowers and swords on your new butterfly journey. The star is below that. The star is always about the time after the tower, letting it all go. She's always depicted naked. Although this one has, again, the head covering, which has showed up in a lot of readings lately. That's possibly significant to someone. Being stripped of everything that held you back, everything that was your old life, but still remaining somewhat incognito, still be comfortable and humble. But it's a time of change, and it's not a time, yeah, the Seven of Pentacles below that. It's a time to reflect on what you've done and what you've built. And they're saying what you've buried, the seeds that you've planted that are now going to grow. And you can't go back because you planted those seeds. And things are going to start coming up. You know that you've made some decisions that people will find out about in the future. And you can't change them because you wanted to move forward. And the hard part is only the feminine receptivity. Fighting with that masculine side, that I need a good excuse side, that I need to plan it outside. I can't just get in an RV and go. You can. And sometimes maybe you don't have to give an excuse right away. Sometimes maybe you have to be a bit more reserved about it. You don't have to tell everyone what your plans are, and you don't have to justify yourself, they're saying. You never have to justify yourself. If you know that it won't be received in the way that you meant it to be, or the people won't accept it, you don't have to try. Because you're making this decision for you, and you're making it selfishly because you need to. And that's okay. And if that's the way it's going to be, then that's the way it's going to be. And you just have to go. There will be heartbreak. Three of Swords. You can't avoid that. But your feet are on fire. You can't stay either. Trying to alleviate the heartbreak preemptively will only cause more pain. We've got the Dove again, and she's handing the woman here flowers. These are lilies. I think they're the kind of lilies that I have on my arm here. The stargazers. You should do this as gently as you can, as quickly as you can. It won't be received well, but don't try to preempt it. Don't try to soothe it down. You're gonna hurt people, and that's a necessity. They're saying it's okay. It's not okay, but it's a necessity. What plant is this? It's for you. This is the first thing that you've done for you. The Ram here. I think this is more Taurus than Aries, but it's an Earth card. You've been planting the seeds for a long time for yourself, and you just hadn't made that step where you told people that you're removing yourself, that they can't come with you. And don't try to make excuses, because there aren't any excuses. It's just for you. Don't try to hurt, but don't try to heal either. That's not your place. You're leaving. And it's just going to be that way. And you just have to rip the Band-Aid off and be as concise as you can. And just go. And they're going to be hurt, but you have to let them. Because there's a part of you that's outgrown them. There she is, part of the tree. There's something about her hair, dreadlocks maybe, could be significant. There's also, it looks like there's a piece of this ivy here that's growing out of her nether regions here, kind of sprouting up. That's your root chakra, the thing that grounds you, your base needs. There's something that you need to fulfill that's growing from your need. A need, not things you want. The Satyr is whimsical, so there's something that you need, that you've always needed, that everyone told you was a want, was fantasy, was an aspiration. But you've come to a point, and this is the Nine of Wands. And I saw an Instagram reel earlier today where the girl had a basket full of decks, and she pulled a card from 3 different decks, and it was all the Nine of Wands. This is the end of struggle for you. Not because the cycle has closed, but because you've had too much. You've had enough, and you're leaving, and you've finally seen that Satyr, that whimsical thing, and you've heard the call of the flutes, and you've said, no, that's for me. That's not something that I just dream about sometimes. I am at a point now where I need to, for me, I need to chase this. I need to go and fulfill my destiny and receive what the universe has provided me with and what I have agreed to do in my soul mission. And that's the new perspective that you have, is that it wasn't some flight of fancy. I have the feeling that you've been told maybe in the future for too much of your life, and you've gotten to a point where you're old enough, you're like, I'm either gonna do this or it's not gonna happen. And people are gonna be upset with me because they never actually meant maybe in the future. They were just trying to put me off so that I could be who they wanted me to be. But I'm not that person anymore. I can't be that person anymore. I've shed too many skins. You are a gentle creature, but you are not like the others. That's the deck I see sitting down there. And the Queen of Cups on the bottom. It's for your own personal fulfillment. You finally decided to do for you after years of doing for others. Wings. The white one, most of these creatures are brown. But the beautiful wings, what's this? And wonder. That's the thing that you were always looking at. The thing off in the distance, the dream that you had. And a harbinger is on the bottom, staring up at me. Oh, there's of course a second one here, harvest. This is the sign that it's time to go and reap the rewards of all of the seeds that you planted before. Your wings are ready, my lady, and it's time to go and fulfill yourself emotionally. And you're gonna have to fight. That's what this little person is, this external thing to you. Little person. Everything that is against you is external to you. 2, 2, 2, 2. Now is the time to uncouple for yourself. All of the people that aren't going to agree with it, it's not for them. They don't need to understand, but you can't let them hold you back. And all of the thoughts that you have and the teachings that you have about what's appropriate and what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it, they were designed to keep you where you are, to set unachievable aspirations, milestones along the way where you couldn't move forward until you reached them, but you were never going to reach them. And that's what it was. It was unachievable, completely irrelevant accomplishments that you believed or were told or told yourself that you had to get to in order to move forward with your dream. And you've come to realize none of those things are related to your dream, and they were just distractions and obstacles to keep you from actually moving forward, because you didn't need any of those things. You didn't need the money or the house or the stability or the title or the respect. They're saying you didn't need anything, just yourself. And now that you see that, you can't unsee it, and your feet are on fire and you want to move forward. Just like when you were a kid and you saw it and you wanted to go after it before you had been trained. I thought there was a whole like video game leveling up that you had to go through to just walk to your light. And you don't believe that anymore, so you can't stay. So I wish you luck. And it will be hard. Now my little figure's knocked over that I got the message. Take your basket and go. And don't try to soothe people that you left behind or justify yourself to them or make it okay, because that will just keep you stuck and they're not gonna ever understand anyway. Just go. And I'll see you very soon on the other side. I love you, I wish you well, and we'll be back again soon.